You are listening to the Sinister DreamCast Network.
Welcome to Sinister DreamCast.
I am Nick Kizina.
I'm Julianna Hawk.
And I'm Zarah.
Zara is our newest member of the team, everybody. So she's coming on to the podcast to meet at least one person of the company. I threw it out there. We got a resounding silence whenever I told everyone. I mean, to be fair, today's Justin's birthday when we're recording this. I don't think he's doing anything because I feel like he probably forgot it's his birthday.
I wished him happy birthday, dickhead, this morning, so...
Did you get a response?
Yes.
I have yet to get a response from that dickhead.
How do you forget it's your birthday?
He did last year.
Oh.
Yeah, I wished him happy birthday, dickhead, but then I was an asshole and said, and I better see you at Apis tomorrow, to which he said, I can't wait, or thank you and I can't wait, and then I responded, and by tomorrow, obviously, I mean Saturday, because what fucking day is it and how does time work? And I have not heard back from him since then. So
I asked him yesterday if he was going on Saturday. I have not heard back from him. Then today I wish him happy birthday. Still have not heard back from him. So you'll meet Justin, and you'll learn to make fun of him as much as everyone else does.
Oh, good.
So
do you watch Parks and Rec?
I do.
He's our Jerry.
Ah, gotcha.
Except not.
Oh.
Well, you know how, like, no one really understands why everyone hates Jerry? The audience just kind of accepts that everyone hates Jerry.
Yeah.
And moves on. There are, like, 160-odd episodes of this podcast where you go, oh, why we make fun of Justin.
See, I listened to, like, a couple already. So far, I'm like, okay. I don't mean that in a bad way. But, like...
Continue. We're here. We'll wait. The class will wait till you're done.
I don't mean it like in a extremely bad way. It's just like
extremely bad way.
It's one of those things where you're like, I don't know who this person is yet, and until I meet them, I'm not gonna say an opinion because I can come off as very rude sometimes. Mm-hmm. I have resting bitch face along with like resting sarcastic voice. I don't know what to call it.
That's the majority of the women in the company, I feel like.
Oh, that
I
works.
feel like well, no, maybe I guess it's not the majority. It's just you and Megan, Jules, have made comments about their resting bitch face.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm. So, strangely enough, Zarah and we connected on OkCupid for non-OkCupid related reasons. Because your profile was just kind of like, I'm looking for friends and networking. I'm like, I'll network.
Yeah, because like OkCupid, just pulling out of my podcast, like we like to call OkCupid okay stupid.
so original.
Because like, the messages.
Yes,
like,
indeed.
It hurts. Sometimes I just block.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do.
But she didn't block me because I was nice.
You weren't a creep star, so.
Yeah, I try not to. On a fairly regular basis, I apologize for my gender. I do. You can ask Jules. So Zarah is coming on board to help us with production, and she is filling the empty slot in the week. So starting this upcoming Tuesday, her podcast Toxic Volume is going to be the 5th podcast on our network.
Hey.
The 5th podcast on the network, 6th one to be created. Because sadly, we do not have a drinking podcast anymore. But you want to tell the listeners what they have in store for them with Toxic Volume?
Oh, there's a lot. I mean, a lot of laughing, for sure. A lot of bubbly. Well, not a lot of bubbly women. There's only 2 of us. Pop culture, zodiac sign stuff because it's just what we're into for some reason. Trending news, world news, anything we find during the day before, the day before that. And probably me talking about pasta because we also love ramen, like spicy ramen, a lot. And then the rest is kind of up to what our minds don't change to within 24 hours.
It really kind of sounds like it's going to be a mesh between insert movie reference and scenario store news.
Yep.
Maybe. I mean, you know.
Well, you and your co-host, you guys are not in the same city.
No, we're not.
That's the insert movie reference at the aspect to it. Because listening back to an insert movie reference on more than one occasion, I go, this would be funnier if there wasn't a delay because of the internet. A lot of times I've listened to it, I'm like, yeah, but...
Oh, yeah, we've gone through a lot of trial and error as far as, like, recording our voices.
What are you guys using?
Well, we're just recording our voices separately right now.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
So...
Did you do the clap to sync up with each other?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're making it hard on yourself.
Oh, yeah. Because, like, we're very, like, perfectionist type people. Because I'm the kind of person in high school that would, like, write their paper 5 times, hate it, and still not turn it in.
I don't understand that. I just turn it in and be like, I'm done with it.
I can't. If it's not, like, to my liking, I'll be like, I know, I'm not turning it in. Like, it's just, it's what I do for some reason. But, yeah, we are 2 bubbly females with too much to talk about. So we decided, hey, podcast.
You're really selling this, let me tell you.
I mean, like, to be honest, there's not a huge story to it. It's just, we're 2 bubbly girls with a website and a blog. And we wanted to do a podcast for a while. So now it's like, word, green light.
Well, okay, so if you're 2 bubbly girls with a podcast, then this might actually be, like, the perfect, like
Contrast.
palate cleanser from
Really?
Scenario
It
Store
wouldn't
News.
be a palate cleanser.
What?
It comes after.
Yeah, because Scenario Store News is basically 2 really salty girls with a podcast. So
See, we only get salty about, like, a few things. Like creepy people.
we're just overflowing with salt.
So, whenever we start talking about, doing things together, networking, you were just kind of like, all things creative. So where did you start getting, like, where did the creative bug come in for you?
I mean, the womb. No,
I mean, if you want to start that, I'm going to expect you to go. If you're going to start at the womb to be a smartass, I'm going to expect you to go from, like, the womb till present. So, be warned.
I mean, to be honest, like, I would just say, like, 5, because that's when you can start remembering things.
I remember things earlier than 5.
Probably, but it's, like, bits and pieces. It's not really, like, full years.
That's fair. I'll give you that.
I would say, yeah, probably, like, 5 on, because my aunt had, like, one of those old Polaroids, like, journalist-type Polaroids. And she, like, take pictures. I'm like, yes! So it started from there, and then it went to, like, writing, and then it went to drawing, and then it went to coloring, and then it went to, like, taking pictures of myself, and then it went to, like, the scene kid phase.
Are you waiting for me to comment? I have no comment on this.
No, it was just me, like, yeah.
Scene kids, emo kids that don't want to be called emo.
And then, like, I don't know, MySpace gave you the ability of, like, HTML and layouts and...
I remember MySpace.
MySpace 1.0.
Yeah, I wonder why. I am curious on what made people just stop going to MySpace.
2.0 and 3.0. Oh, yeah, I was
Sure?
there for that.
I don't know.
It got to, like, the closest thing I could say is maybe Tumblr. They tried to look like Tumblr a little bit. And it was like, what did you do to my website? They also had their logo as my and then a space bar for a little while.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That was really confusing.
I think I might have dropped off right before that.
I remember going, the last time I went on was over 4 years ago. Jules and I had not been dating at that point. And it looked like downtown Pittsburgh after 6 p.m. Like, that's what... It was like the digital equivalent of that.
I saw a post on Tumblr recently, though, that was like, it's really funny how MySpace just kind of, like, crashed and burned, because, like, none of us realized that in order to, like, make those things, like, to our perfectionist liking, like, we were building, like, 6-figure salary skills, and then we just lost them.
Yeah.
That's when I went to Blogger.
Yeah, but that's not by Google. I mean, I have a blogger. I don't update it, but I have a blogger. But, like, when did... Like, what all inspired you? Because, I mean, you said, like, you know...
What inspired, like, Toxic Volume?
We're not there yet.
Oh.
We'll get there.
You can't give me vague things like that.
I was going to explain. What inspired you to be the creativity? Because, like, you were saying, like, you know, 5 and, like, all that stuff. But, like, everything starts. There's always a genesis for everything. So I'm always curious on what gets people in and what, like, inspires them. So
I think probably my aunt and my mom, because, like, my mom was like, you can do this and this, and you can be this, and you can do anything. Like, you know, like, lovely mom things. And then my aunt was like, she's always been into creative writing, so, like, there was no pressure to, like, I don't know, be a doctor or something. And then I'd probably say when I got more involved in, like, clubs, like, in elementary school and stuff like that, and, like, art club and, like, anime club and, like, all the cool shit.
that's fair. So what gets you, like, what inspires you, like, as of right now? Like, were there certain artists that like kept you going? Like, you know, for me it's Hitchcock. For Jules, I don't know, what is it for you? Sylvia Plath, or is that more teenage Julianna?
Maybe. I don't know.
I think it varies per medium. Like, film, I'd say, like, probably Scorsese. Not a lot.
No, I mean, I like Scorsese. I'm Italian Catholic. Him and I understand each other. It's fine. Like, I took a Scorsese class in college, and I've said this, I think I've said this on the podcast, but my teacher was Ukrainian Jewish, American. Totally did not understand Scorsese. There were, like, so many times he would, like, ask questions to us, like, you know, getting critical thinking and everything going on, and, like, the other Italian Catholics in the room would just raise their hand. I'm like, yeah, that's how it is. Like Ray Liotta, and, like, how his relationship with his mother is, or Joe Pesci, the way his relationship with his mother is in Goodfellas. Like, he thought it was very bizarre, and I'm like, no, that's just how Italian mothers and sons are. Like, just how it is. Like, nothing really hard to understand. Like, just me and Uncle Marty understand each other. We refer to him as Uncle Marty in this company.
I mean, that's interesting.
If you listen to him talk, he is like your crazy uncle that you're excited to see, like, 3 times a year, because he comes with gifts and he just talks about shit you want to listen to.
None of those live near me anymore, so.
What?
The crazy good uncles.
Yeah.
Same
here, but I still have recognition. Like,
oh yeah,
I remember it.
Of course.
But you're saying Scorsese. Like, well, is there a specific movie or just, like, his actual overall style?
I think his overall, like, filmography. Just, I don't know. I like things that, like, kind of, I don't want to say stay the same, but, like, there's consistency. Yeah.
So you're not a big fan of Scorsese in the 80s? Whenever he tried his hand at comedy and did a lot of cocaine.
It was interesting in the way of, like, you did a lot of cocaine.
Yeah. He really did. He really did.
And, like, I think art. I really love, like, Salvador Dali, because he was just straight up crazy.
You can chime in, Jules, because I know you like Dali.
I do.
Yeah, I like all the crazy people.
Jules can relate.
Just to be vague.
No, we have an hour to
fill.
I know. So vague is not where we're going right here.
I'll get there.
But, so, okay. That's fine. But, I mean, you're going to be also helping us with like, have you done any acting? Like,
me? Oh, yeah.
Yes. No, Jules. The person I live with, I'm going to ask her.
So you can't throw questions at me.
Have you done any acting? Zarah, I'm looking directly at you. Have you done any acting? I have directed Jules.
Now you're asking me.
I've directed Jules. I know she's done acting. I'm asking you specifically. Have you done any acting, like theater or for film, or for the camera, I should say?
Yeah. I mean, like my own YouTube channel that I had.
So vlogging?
Yeah, and then like just short films for like, I was in a class for like Carnegie Library, like in Oakland, like a lot. So I did those like little contests and stuff.
You were so shy and nervous. It's kind of funny.
I'm not. I just like, I'm very like quick with like responses. Like I need them to be like short.
I prefer. Maybe I'll make you answer everything in complete sentences from here on out.
I'm not mad about it.
So, what was the inspiration for Toxic Volume then?
Toxic Volume was literally the inspiration because here's how it started.
Yeah, I also want to know what does Toxic Volume mean. So
I was gonna ask that too, actually, because I really like it. But yeah, where's that come from?
Toxic Volume, the name was just from like, what's something that's eye-catching and also kind of explains us, and also like, because we're like, when we like talk and laugh, we're very loud human beings.
Excuse the Joker.
And then we were looking up things that were kind of cute at first, like lips and like pink like potion bottles and stuff like that. We were like, but what sounds like or looks like germy or like toxic? And we were like faces and hands and like, I don't know how we got there, but like, and then so we looked up fonts and we was like, let's do a drippy font because blood. I
mean, that's what you would expect. You would expect Toxic Volume to be in a drippy font.
Yeah.
You just would.
And then we were like, mouths are germy. You can catch anything with your mouth. And like, volume just kind of came from an idea that we wanted like YouTube and a podcast and like everything audio related.
Where was the inspiration from? Like, what got you guys? Because, like, we kind of adapted a Toxic Volume because you guys did this before you joined the network.
Yeah.
So, like, where did that come from?
So it started from like when me and my friend first talked to each other, we realized we sound completely alike.
You could also use her name because
yeah,
we're trying to sell the podcast also. So,
so when me and Ad, no, we first talked to each other. We literally got on Skype and we were like, whoa, what the fuck?
how'd you guys meet?
The internet.
Like, well,
Twitter.
There are a lot of, okay, I was going to say, there's a lot of places on the internet.
Twitter, yeah. No, we just had like similar Twitters. And then I talked to her and she was like, let's Skype. And we did. And then, so the first time we talked to each other, we sounded completely like, and then we started talking and talking and talking. And we were both super into pop culture, but also like, had this scene phase that we kind of had to grow out of for like work purposes. And then just everything like music and like dress wise and like everything else. So we both had blogs and we were like, no, let's do a blog together. Because I feel like, I don't know what it is, but like when you first do something like that by yourself, you kind of feel like it's a ton of work. Mm-hmm. So when you start a blog, you're like, oh, I gotta make the logo, I gotta make the graphics, I gotta make the tabs. It just feels insane. So like, driven by like perfectionism and the fact that we didn't want to do it alone, we started the blog and then we did the name thing and then we got the URL, which the URL was like, our first one had a dash in it because what happened was I bought the first one off of 1-in-1. Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize that Google at the time had domains and you can use those right away. And 1-in-1 was like, oh, you need to wait like 16 weeks or something. And I was like, I don't have time for that. So we bought the dash one off of Google Domain. And now we recently switched to the regular one because ADHD and we need it all to match. Mm-hmm. Then we started everything. Well, we originally started in the summer, and then we took a little hiatus to revamp, and now we relaunched, and then perfect timing with everything else.
Mm-hmm. And now you're part of the Sinister DreamCast Network. Whee! Very exciting. So, like, music-wise, what are you all... Because you were saying you guys have very similar, tastes in music. So I'm curious, because, like, it talks about you in the way that you've, like, you proposed it to me, and, like, I've listened to, like, the preview episode that you did all by you onesie. It seemed like, you're kind of going all over pop culture. Because, like, all of the podcasts are in the pop culture domain, but, like, one of the things that you guys are, like, dipping into more, other than Dragon Age, is gaming.
That was a very, like, look.
Because I knew for a fact that if I would have said gaming, Jules would have been like, but we do gaming. That's the reason why I said Dragon Age.
No, I know.
So.
I know that because I mean, even...
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know, because Black Emporium is just Dragon Age. I realize that doesn't really count as, like, gaming, because it's still very, like, single.
Yeah, it's singular.
But
yeah, so, like, I'm kind of... We might break this down, because I'm curious what you are into music. Because, like, we're all actually very into music, but we don't end up talking about music very often.
It's a wide range. It can go from, like, 30 Seconds to Mars to, like, Britney Spears to, like, Dolly Parton to, like, Shinedown. And you're like, so where does your playlist end?
Jules has a 30 Seconds to Mars tattoo.
Did you?
I'm planning to get one. I'm so excited. But yeah, it ranges. Like, it's literally just everything. Like, everything from my Scene Kid days, plus, like, everything from the 90s.
So what is scene to you? Because to me, like, I made the snide comment earlier in the podcast, Scene kids are just emo kids that don't want to be
Like,
called
music-wise, or just
Yes.
in general?
Yes.
I feel like when I was a Scene Kid, it's drastically different than, like, before I would have been a teenager. So for me, it was, like, Paramore and, like, I don't know, AFI and Linkin Park and...
These aren't scene to me. At least the last two.
It was like...
I'm a big AFI fan.
Because Scene just kind of turned into, like, alternative overall. It wasn't really... Like, the only thing that made you Scene was, like, the clothes and how you acted. And, like, I don't know if you listen to Blood on the Dance Floor.
No.
Yeah.
I've listened to them to be like, what is Blood on the Dance Floor about? And they go, oh, Blood on the Dance Floor is about shit.
I had a quick listen, and I was like, ooh, my ears are bleeding.
It's bad. It's very, like, it's as bro-y as, like, a scrawny man music can get. Like, because, you think of a bro as, like, you look at my girlfriend, that kind of guy.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, but scene kids are very scrawny and very small. So, like, imagine that, but bro-y.
Wait, so, like, on a scale from 1 to 5 Finger Death Punch.
Ooh.
I wouldn't put, no, because I wouldn't put Five Finger Death Punch that bro-y. Their fans are bro-y. The music itself, like, Blood on the Dance Floor, you can listen to it and you go, oh, bro music.
Yeah?
Like, Five Finger Death Punch, like, the music itself, I just kind of think of it more as, like, redneck metal.
See, when I hear Blood on the Dance Floor, I'm like, oh, bad EDM.
Yeah, it's kind of like that with real, like, high-pitched vocals, and, which is something that's getting, like, I've noticed that since I got Apple Music, something that's becoming more and more common is, like, clean vocals in metal are getting, like, kind of whiny.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you listen to a lot of bands with really high-pitched vocals.
Not a lot. Just, like, a handful at this point. But, I mean, there's been plenty of them that I've listened to. I'm like, oh, who's this? And I listen to it and I'm like, no!
Well, I mean... I'm dry. I feel like, it got different by the time I, like, really knew what the scene was. It sounds like a wrong sentence. It's been, like, it's crazy. It's been, like, Paramore and, like, Bring Me the Horizon, which, like, I don't
really Bring Me to the Horizon?
Yeah, like,
that
their
seems
hair.
Weird.
And then, like, Broken Side. I don't even know if they're still together. But I'm like, they're kind of rap weird stuff.
I'm not even sure who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were, like, weird.
But you have no Blood on the Dance Floor. You guys, I wasn't done talking about Blood on the Dance Floor.
Oh, you weren't?
No, just how bad it is. That's all. No, because I knew a girl who, like, we were friends, and near the end of our, like, friendship, she started getting real into Blooded on the Dance Floor, and she was getting upset with me because I wasn't into it. I'm like, this is fucking stupid. Like, this is really dumb music.
Funny thing about him, he's been in so much drama for, like, I don't know, like, something about, like, girls and, like, nudes, and...
He seems like an instigator. Like, he seems like he's an attention whore.
Well, a lot of people have been, like, dubbing him as, like, a pedo. So, like...
That really wouldn't surprise me. It also seems like he takes full advantage of the 14-year-old girls that listen to his music.
He's went from, like... It's funny, because he's went from scrawny to, like, actually looking like a guy. Like, you know, like... Not, like, baby weight, just literally, like... You know, he grew up and got... filled out. I don't know. Thank you.
Jules ran and got Zarah some water, so...
But yeah, he, Blood on the Dance Floor.
But
whenever, like, I see, like, Scene on Tumblr, because that's still kind of a big thing on Tumblr. Headphones. It's always, like, Fall Out Boy and My Chemical Romance and, like, Panic at the Disco.
My Chemical Romance is definitely a big... See, I always thought that was more, like, punk for some reason.
They have a lot of punk elements in their music.
Yeah, I think that's why.
I do still like them, but I used to be, like, really into them. But then that was, like, it was, like even 30 Seconds to Mars kind of ends up in there a little bit, but, like, those were the only bands I was ever into that, like, really fell into that. Yeah. So it was always really weird. It's, like... Because it was just always like, yeah, no, I'm really super here for this, and I want, like, nothing to do with any of the rest of it.
That's the reoccurring theme of most of the music that I like. I don't really like other people who listen to the music. Even whenever we went to go see Coheed and Cambria, there were still some fucking douchebags that were ruining the show for me. But that might be every band. But, like, there's certain bands that I know that I would never want to go see, like, live.
Maybe that's why the older I get, the more I'm just listening to musicians that either are dead, don't tour anymore, or just never tour in the States.
Speaking of concerts, though. Okay. So when I saw Linkin Park and 30 Seconds to Mars, like, I think this was, like, 3 years ago now.
Jules, were you at that show?
No, that was the one that was in, like, Buffalo was the closest that it came.
Yeah, I went to the one in Philly.
I was gonna say Philly's probably closer.
Kinda. But, like, this guy in front of me and my other friend, he was built like Seth Rogen, but, like, wider. This guy stood up he was already pissed drunk off of beer. And I was already quite drunk because I'm like, yay, 2 bands I haven't seen since, like, childhood. And this guy, this Seth Rogen looking guy, gets on top of this chair in front of me. I was like, why? Like, I was screaming so hard that this guy in front of me actually started laughing. He was like, are you okay? And I was like, no, this Seth Rogen looking motherfucker got up on the fucking seat and is, like, jumping on the seat, first of all, scaring the shit out of me. And, like, and then, like, all these dude bros around him. And I was like, when did dude bros start listening to these people? Like...
That seems to be happening a lot, I've noticed.
They're just dude bros. They're just dude bros fucking everywhere.
I was Upsetty Spagetti, and
I think we may have a title.
And, like, I don't know. That does seem to be a trend, though. Like, these dude bro looking guys, like, at concerts where you're like, why
you know,
are you here? Like,
you know what band I got, like, kicked in the face by a dude bro too? Like,
oh my god!
Like, there was blood everywhere. It was a mess, and thankfully I was, like, in the front row.
Oh.
So when my face just went, like, poof, and my glasses flew off of my face, they flew over the barrier, and one of, like, the, like, guards grabbed them for me. So that was cool. It wasn't like my first mosh pit digressing. Armor for Sleep. Yeah.
I can
Armor
imagine that being
It's like, I didn't even want to be there.
Who were they touring with?
I don't remember.
I said, why were you there? That's why I was asking.
Oh, I was there with someone who wanted to be there.
I like a couple of their songs. Like the first handful of songs off of What Happens When You Die or whatever the fuck it is. or I enjoy that. Beyond, like, after, like, the first 3 songs, I'm like, I'm done.
Oh.
Like, I will literally listen to the first 3 songs because I'm a big proponent of an album. I listen to an album because the album is, if a band knows what they're doing or is interesting in any kind of way, they are going to, the album is their piece of art, it's their movie, it's their book, if you will. So, like, I'm a big proponent of listening to the whole thing, and, like, that Armor for Sleep album is actually a concept album. It's a shitty concept album, but it's a concept album. But, yeah, like, I'll listen to the first 3 tracks. I'm like, I'm good. I'm good after that.
The only album I can't fully get through is, like, 9 Inch Nails or, like, Tool because they're so long. I need, like, an intermission. I need some popcorn. I need a movie break.
Enema has a song called Intermission.
Really?
Yeah, there's a track on Enema called Intermission.
I enjoy that.
Enema's a good, like, Tool. I'll go with you on that with Tool, just because they do start to get a, like, Enema, because Tool tends to write, like, 5 to 7 minute songs, and typically they'll do 16-track albums. So they're usually pretty long.
Their Tool's really good, but they're fucking intense.
Yeah, I mean, there's also a problem that, like, for me, like, there's certain... The album itself, there's always a dip in the middle, it seems, for Tool, that like, Enema is really the only one that I can listen to all the way through, and, like, actually enjoy. Like, Latavaricus, is that how you pronounce it, Jules? You know what I'm talking about?
Lateralis, I think it is.
Sure.
Is that the one you're
Whatever.
talking about?
That one, 10,000 Days, which I also am wondering... I had a thought that 10,000 Days, the song, was about Pope John Paul.
Oh, really?
There's some lyrics in there that I'm like, is this about Pope John Paul? Which would be weird. But and also Undertow. Like, well, Undertow I can't listen to all the way through. There's only, like, a handful of Undertow songs on Undertow I like.
Apparently, Tool's new album, the first song is going to be, like, 12 minutes.
That's not surprising.
Yeah.
I mean...
I'm not surprised. It's just like...
Dream
wow.
Theater, I mean, the one Dream Theater album I have, which I think it's Systematic Chaos. There are 6, 7 tracks on it. The first, last, and middle tracks are all between 10 and 12 minutes long.
Oh, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love, like, musical scores from, like, movies and stuff, so I'm there. I'm here for it. I'm ready. Fuck me up.
I mean, I'm down for, like, longer songs because I listen to a lot of progressive stuff. I mean, Mastodon's Crack the Sky album, they had the one song, The Czar, is 9 minutes long and it has 3 parts to it.
I mean, that in, like, house music, too. House music usually 10-minute song.
Ooh, now that we have a new member, we should do another top 10 bands.
No. We just did that. We
Yeah.
literally just did that. We're not going to do another top 10 bands. That was 4.5 hours long. We're not going to do another top 10 bands for, like, another 2 years.
Oh, no.
Just like we're not going to do another top 10 movies for another 2.5 years.
I did enjoy that, though. I did very much enjoy that. Also, I'm pretty sure my list now would be completely different.
Oh, yeah. I feel like my list changes, like, every 4 years. Like a leap year.
My music, like, the bands that I go to on a regular basis are almost, they don't relatively change.
Like, I feel like from the first time we did it to the second time we did it, like, there were a lot of similarities. Like, I don't think they were spot on, but I think it was probably, like, more than half remained like roughly the same. And this time I think, like, it would be an almost completely different list.
So no Code in Canberra?
I feel like they may have slipped to honorable mentions. I'm so sorry.
You make no sense.
Like, I've told you, I've been, like, super, like, hyper specific about things I've been listening to lately. So
now we had an education on scene. It's interesting. I understand why I was never a part of that.
No, I'm just kidding.
What'd you say?
I said you're welcome.
Yeah. No. I mean, I typically stick with, like, metal, hard rock, punk, and goth. So, like, don't really...
I feel like now for me it's like house. So I'm really picky with pop and rap anyway, so I don't even count those. I feel like house, punk, rock. Yeah, it probably is metal because I won't qualify it as screamo because I don't like that name.
Wait, what band?
they're like weird. They're literally dumb new. It's
What's their name?
I'd have to look on my phone.
Okay.
They're like that new. Like,
Okay.
oh, you're letting me look?
No, I was waiting. I thought you weren't done.
Oh,
It
no,
sounded like you were
done.
continuing. Oh, okay. That's fair. Anyways. But gaming wise, what all? Because, like I said, that's kind of the brave new territory. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah. I mean, Jules plays 2 games, and I play like a variety of games, but I try not to because they end up being a time suck. Like right now, I'm in the middle of Borderlands 2, and it's sucking up a lot of free time. But I kind of just feel the need to finish it.
I think my staple games would be like Tomb Raider, Hitman, and yeah, those are the main 2 actually.
Yeah. Hitman, I like Hitman, but it gets tedious after a while. Like, I liked Contracts. I played Contracts. That was the first one that I played. But, like, Hitman 2 was, like, kind of impossible.
The new one, like, they're releasing it by, like, episode because it takes so long to complete it. Like, you literally basically have to know how to be a hitman to complete these levels. It's, like, a little too ridiculous. It's like if you played the last Hitman on the hardest difficulty.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's fun.
And I don't knock it. It's just like, it hurts my head.
Like how so?
It's just like, I don't mind that games take long because I like free roam too. But when you make it so ridiculously long and difficult, that's when it's like annoying.
That seems to be a thing in gaming nowadays. Where it's like, how hard can we make this? I'm like, no, it's the idea. It's like, at the end of the day, like, if it's a story video game, like, you still want to finish the story. Like, a person wants to be challenged, but they don't want to be challenged so much that, like, they give up. Like, there was, like, I've been in the middle of, like, a game, Borderlands, and, like, the game up into a certain point was, like, challenging, but not like I'm yelling at the screen challenging.
Yeah.
And then like it just kind of ratchets it up. All of a sudden, like once they introduce mechs, it's just like good luck.
Oh,
just like
okay.
Well, the way that the where I'm at right now, I'm level 16 and I'm playing as a siren, and where I'm at, I'm fighting things where I don't feel like my weaponry is equal to it, sort of thing.
Oh, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like I'm playing like in Borderlands 2, like the background is like the Hyperion companies kind of taking over Pandora and trying to settle it, and anyone who is not with them is against them. So they're pretty much trying to commit genocide. And like most of the Hyperion guys, the Hyperion army is pretty much robots. Best way to take out robots is with corrosive weapons. I have come across one corrosive weapon so far, and it's a handgun.
Oh.
So, like, it's not super effective.
I mean, that's nice.
Yeah. So, yeah. And, like, I just finished a level, like, today that, like, I was, like, laughing to myself that I finally finished it because it took me, like, 25 times to kill. Because, like, you have to save the one character. You have to save the one character, and he's imprisoned on top of this robot that has, like, a laser that if it hits you, it pretty much zaps your shield and does... It can kill you probably in, like, between, like, 5 to 7 seconds. If, like, you're constantly getting hit with it. And then on top of that, the robot also can produce other robots. So you have to take out the little other robots, but like there's a variety of different robots, and like if you haven't played Borderlands, their elite class, one of their elite class, because in Borderlands 2 they introduce elite as well. One of their elite classes is called Badass, and like it will spawn like 2 badass mechs that you have to take out.
I don't like it.
Oh no, I did not like it at all. It was a huge pain in the dick.
That makes me kind of not want to play this game.
Yeah, like, come on. I mean, like, I want to have fun, but, like, fuck.
Yeah, it was a little... It kind of seemed like it was a douche, like an asshole going, like, how hard can I make this?
Yeah, like, that does not... Well, especially because, like, I like, the reason that I'm so super specific about video games is that I don't want to be challenged. I play for story. The end. Combat is just a means to progress the story.
Oh, I'm hoping after I finish this mission that I'm on right now, it's going to balance out again. I feel like I'm at the end of the first act, if you will. So, like, you know, in a script, the end of the first act is, like, big switch, big conflict, and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like that's where I'm at. I'm right at the end of the first act going into the second act sort of thing. And it's just kind of being a pain in the dick. So, I'm hoping that once I get past that, I'll be A-okay.
Hopefully.
And I still think more video games should do the Mass Effect 3 thing where they have a difficulty setting lower than casual.
I didn't even know that was the thing.
I've only seen it in that one game, and I guess BioWare didn't want to keep doing it because Mass Effect 3 came out before Dragon Age Inquisition, and Inquisition doesn't have it. But it's narrative. It's literally just like, yeah, we know you don't actually want to fight, you just have to move the story. It's cool. Like, it's almost impossible to die in a fight now, just keep on going. Like, it even says, like, explicitly in it, like, this is not a good example of Mass Effect combat. Like, I'm cool with that.
I'd be like, alright.
Yeah.
It's fair. I mean, I want to be challenged. So,
I like having the option. Like, I think that's just the biggest thing, because, like, I'll play on casual if casual is the lowest setting.
That's even for me, I feel like if you play below normal on a first run, it's kind of defeating the purpose of playing a video game.
Well, I usually start a game on easy, and then I'll just, because, like, I want to know what's going on before I, like, run in, and it's like, hey, hard as I can. And it's just, like, I like to roam in games a lot, so I think that's why I do it, just because of, like, I just want to know everything.
So you play the GTAs?
I do, but, like, I get bored real quick.
They are becoming a little too big.
Yeah.
They're becoming a little too big, and Rockstar is becoming a little too obsessed with minutia. Just be like, hey, you can learn how to use this dock loading equipment. No, it's cool, Rockstar. I really don't want to do that. Well, guess what? You need to know it for this next mission, so fucking do it. That's the reason why I haven't finished. I mean, I was going to start playing GTA 5 again, but then I couldn't find it, and I'm like, oh, Borderlands. I'll put that back in because I got stuck on Borderlands. I got stuck on Borderlands and didn't play it for like a year and a half.
Oh yeah, and my the person I date, like, he literally actually ended up deleting it because he was like, I like it, I don't care for it right now.
Wait, Borderlands or GTA?
GTA 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple things like with GTA 5, the whole like switching between characters idea, I don't think worked as well as they thought it was going to work.
It seems like a really cool concept.
It was a really cool concept, but like in practice, like whenever you have to switch between like characters in mid-mission, it's a little obnoxious.
Yeah,
See, Stella believes.
That I was just kind of like, I don't know how this is gonna go out, but I'll watch people play it because I don't really want to buy it. And I don't think it was worth the $60 you have to shell out for it.
I have not paid full price for a video game in a very long time. I lucked out with GTA 5 because at Target, someone put it back in the wrong spot, or they mislabeled it or something like that, and like I was like, oh, I'll pay $30 for this practically brand new game, sure. And we went up and I checked out, and they're like, okay, it's $70 with tax and everything. I'm like, oh, it said it was like $30 back there. Like, I mean, if it's not $30, that's fine. I'm just not gonna buy it if it's full price. And then we went through this whole long thing, and they went and looked, and I showed them where it was, and they're like, okay, and they're like, all right, we'll still give it to you for $30. I'm like, all right, cool.
What did you hear about that? I think they tried to pull some shit on Steam where like they upped the price, and then so when the Steam sale happened, it was still $60.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, apparently, like, that's gotten really bad on Steam. It's like Steam sales, so you can buy it for what it's supposed to cost because they price gouge it when it's not on sale.
Yeah.
Wait, is that Valve or is that the other
It
companies?
was Rockstar, I think.
Okay, Rockstar, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, that doesn't sound like Valve's business practices.
Yeah, Valve actually sounds like a good company for the most part.
There's only, like, 7 people in the entire company.
Yeah,
it's very small.
It's a very, very small company. That's the reason why I'm like, that doesn't sound like Valve. Like,
No.
My knowledge of video game related companies are basically like Valve just sounds like your super cool like friend next door.
Yeah.
Bethesda is basically just like fuck you, it works. Like, I saw, like, they did, like, a Reddit AMA, and like, it was, basically, it's like, was this a bug or a feature? And the answer was yes. Because apparently that's just how Bethesda games go. It's like, it glitched, but it worked out really well for me.
Yes.
Apparently Bethesda games are really interesting, too, because, like, they have a lot of, like, diversity and representation in their NPCs, and it's because they just mishmash code. Like, they just whatever, like, anything that's like in there to develop a character just kind of gets like compiled and like dispersed at random for NPCs, so it ends up being like of an actual level of diversity that you would see in the real world. Like, they do this funny. Completely by accident, but they do it right. And then BioWare can meet me in the fucking pit. BioWare thinks they're progressive. They really think they're progressive. Oh, they think so hard. But oh, they are not.
They tried. Maybe.
See, they do. I genuinely believe that they do, but everything that they try fucks up so substantially that you don't really get the star for trying.
I don't think I played a ton of their games. I'm not sure.
Well, like, their main franchises are Dragon Age and Mass Effect, and then, like, they did, like the older Star Wars games, and they did, Jade Empire. And, Baldur's Gate, I think, was, like, the one that, like, put their name on the board.
Oh, okay.
No, I haven't played any of those either.
Yeah, I've only played Dragon Age and Mass Effect.
But... I played Mass Effect. I think I stopped after one just because, like, I got involved in, like, a whole bunch of other games, so I was like, oh, wait.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's right now. Like, Borderlands right now is, like, why I typically, it's, like, a lot of free time gets in. Like, what ends up happening is I'll wake up on my day off, and I'm like, all right, I've done some stuff now. It's about 1 o'clock. I can play for a couple hours. And then I play, and then Jules walks through the door at 5 and go, oh, well, there goes my day. Because I just get kind of wrapped up in it.
But then I'm just going to go and play whatever game I'm playing right now, so you get a couple extra hours.
Yeah, it's a little... But it's a little intense. I mean, after we're done podcasting, I'm probably going to try to beat the level that I was on. I mean, before Zarah showed up, I was playing Borderlands.
Oh, cool, because then I can go and finish recruiting Thane.
No, you can't.
Oh.
You have to watch me play.
I'd watch you play if you were playing one of the games that I play. I feel like that's actually because like I said, I play games for the story. Like, I feel like I could watch somebody play like a seriously involved story game, but like when it involves like as much combat as it looks like Borderlands does, I lose interest.
Borderlands 1 doesn't have very much of a story. It's pretty much find the vault key. That's Borderlands 1.
Oh.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, no, it's fine. There's this ancient thing on Pandora called a vault that they believe has ridiculous alien weaponry that you could conquer the galaxy. Because I guess Borderlands takes place in like the very far future where like humanity has colonized a bunch of different planets. Because like they'll give you background information on characters, and no character, they're all humans, but none of the characters are from Earth. They're all from like different sounding like Aquarius and like those kind of planets, kind of like Firefly.
Okay.
And on this planet Pandora, there's a vault. You got to find the vault. Spoilers: the vault does not have alien technology. It has an interdimensional Cthulhu type tentacle beast in it that you have to try to kill, which is a huge pain in the dick because if you don't know how to kill it, you're gonna die a lot. Was not a fan.
You're not selling this to me.
I ended up killing it with one bullet left in my gun.
Oh shit!
It was not the only ammo I had left, but I had a revolver. And I was playing as Mordecai, who specializes in sniper rifles and revolvers. And my best revolver had one bullet left. I found out after I killed it. I was like, oh, look, I literally had one bullet left in my revolver. But Borderlands 2, there's a lot more of a story to it. What ends up happening is after the vault is opened in Borderlands 1, there's a alien... element called Iridium that spreads out throughout the entire planet and creates mines. So the one company from the first game, Hyperion, because there's a bunch of corporations that like make guns.
Oh, okay.
Like there's Atlas, Hyperion, Jacobs, like those kind of thing. Like they give the companies actual names, and Hyperion comes to Pandora to settle. And like I said earlier, they decide that they're also going to commit genocide because they want law and order, and they're looking for Iridium rather, and you team up with the Resistance, which are the NPC. They're the PCs from the first game are all NPCs that are part of the Resistance in the second game. So there's like it's more involved story wise.
Yeah, I was like, that's a lot.
Yeah, that sounds
from the first one.
Yeah. You know, the first game is very, very simple. It's just pretty much people send you on missions, you do what they tell you, and eventually it gets you to the vault key.
I might actually just skip that one then.
I would highly suggest you do not.
Really?
Because I think you would struggle highly with the combat in Borderlands 2 without Borderlands.
So is there like an import like there is with BioWare games? Like does your
No.
Borderlands 1 affect Borderlands 2? Okay.
No, because it's not like that where like there's a set amount of things that you do. It's not like if you like you have a bunch of side missions and then you have story missions.
Uh-huh.
You have to do them all. It doesn't matter what order you do
Okay,
them
they're not
in.
super decision based like the games I play.
Not
okay.
at all. That's what the game that I'm playing on my phone, Tales from the Borderland, is. It's an adventure RPG. Where you just you answer questions and like they will tell you like depending on how you react, it will say up in the corner if a character will remember this moment. Like the Chris Hardwick's character in Tales from the Borderlands, Vaughn, like you say something nice to him that means a lot to him, and up in the corner it'll have an question mark and it'll say Vaughn won't forget this moment. And then the guy who screws you out of the job that you thought you were going to get, if you're smart ass to him, he'll do the same thing. He said he will not forget this moment.
All right, Life is Strange does something like that where like sometimes sometimes it's very clear that like this is a big decision that will have consequences later, but sometimes it's not, and the little butterfly will just show up in the little corner that says this action will have consequences, and it's like what the fuck did I just do?
That reminds me of Until Dawn. It's like that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Life is Strange is nothing but story. Like it's nothing. Like it doesn't have difficulty settings. It's only story. And then like the other games that like I've started and will someday finish are BioShock Infinite, Fallout 3, and Deadpool.
Fallout 3 and Borderlands have a very similar feel.
I've been told because like I hear very mixed things about like the first two Fallout games.
They're kind of like GTA where they were like on lesser technology, so like they were limited in what they do.
Gotcha. Like I've heard some people say like you really just should start with Fallout 3, don't bother with with the first two. And then I've heard other people say the exact opposite.
For me, I feel like you could start with Fallout and it wouldn't matter for the third one.
I mean, that's the only one that I have and the only one that I've started, so I guess that's what I'm doing. But...
Yeah. I like considering how like I didn't play the first two a lot. I just kind of went halfway and I was like, whatever. But I do feel like even if I did finish them, I'm not missing anything important.
Gotcha. Yeah, like with the Fallout games, it's like I hear very mixed things. It's like either like you really need to or don't even bother with the first two, and then it seems everybody likes Fallout 3, and then people either really love or really hate New Vegas with no in between.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
It seems like 90% of people who have played Fallout 4 love it, and then the rest of it just can't even. So
I don't want it.
Like my psychiatrist was like, because this is conversations I have, like my psychiatrist was like raving about Fallout 4, but she said like then she got to like one point, like she wouldn't tell me what happened in case I ever play it, but like she said there was like a plot twist, and after that she couldn't even finish it because she hated it so much.
See, that kind of stuff doesn't bother me. I'll be like, okay, but I still want to see what happens.
But that's also, from my understanding, Fallout 4 is decision based.
Yeah, so that sounds more like my kind of game.
More.
Like, and they also, like, they introduce romances in that game, and, like, again, my kind of game.
There's no romances in Borderlands.
I didn't think there was.
It's blow shit up with ridiculous weaponry. That is pretty much it. Because, like, they introduce, like, there are five different types of elemental weapons that you can, like, fire, shock, corrosive, sledge, and explosive. In the first game, there's only 4 because the sledge was introduced because it's pretty much the toxic waste from the iridium, which slows you down. Like if you have like a sledge weapon, slag weapon. If you have a slag weapon, you pretty much it slows them down and slowly kills them. See, Jules, here's the thing. I know you don't you prefer story and everything, but the weapons in Borderlands, I feel like will make up for that because there are some really fucked up things you can do with it. Like if you have a fire weapon, you hear them scream as they burn to death.
Gotcha.
And they add more comedy in the second game, where just like the midget psychos that they have, like you'll hear them say, "I see the light, I see the light," like that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So I feel like that would probably be something up your alley.
Yeah, I have finished 3 games. Life is Strange, the Dragon Age series, and the Mass Effect series. All 3 of them are story-based, all 3 of them are decision-based, and all 3 of them have romances. So there you go.
I think all my games I've currently finished have been like somewhat free roam. Like the new Tomb Raiders, Hitman. That's pretty much the only 2 I've been like on and off.
I mean, I used to be really into the GTAs, but then like the GTAs kind of started to get a little redundant. I didn't like 4 all that much.
I just re-downloaded it just because I was bored and there was nothing else to do. It's like, looking back at it now, I'm like, this was like, I think it's when they started to have more things to play with and more graphics, so it's like they were in their experiment period. Of like HD equipment. So
I'm talking about 4.
Yeah,
4. The thing that I hated about 4 is the game is called Grand Theft Auto, and it's super hard to steal cars in that game. It's very.
See, I don't
very
mind
hard.
that. I think it's like kind of funny.
I find it really, really annoying because like there's certain levels where like you can't have a car in the mission, but at the end of the mission you need a car, so. You need to try to steal a car, but in stealing a car, there's a cop. So now you have heat on you as well as this other thing. And, like, another thing that they did in 4, which got super fucking annoying, was so many chasing missions.
Yeah, there was a lot of those,
actually. So many chasing missions. Like, it got to the point, like, I think Jules heard me in the other room just going, ah!
Like, I think literally the first mission ends up with you chasing somebody. Like,
yeah, the first mission is in GTA 4, but it's also like super simple, so it's not like a big deal. Like, it was a staple of the franchise, so like it didn't really bother me. But like, whenever you're going through the game, and like, I would say probably 25% of the missions in GTA 4 are chasing or following missions.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking annoying. Like, a quarter of them. It's fucking annoying.
I mean, when I originally played it, I don't think I cared too much because it was like, oh, GTA 4. Blah, blah, blah. So it's like, I think it's now looking back at it, you're like, oh.
That's something I've noticed too, that like they don't have a really good replayability. San Andreas had a decent replayability. I got like halfway through before I got bored playing it.
I like Liberty City.
Wait, which one? Like Liberty City Stories or?
Oh, I like the whole collection.
Okay. I was gonna say my favorite city in the franchise is Vice.
Oh yeah,
like Vice City is my GTA Vice City is my favorite Grand Theft Auto game, far and away.
I re-downloaded that too, but just for like gameplay, and I was like, wow. It was like kind of the things where you're like, wow, graphics have come a long way, but this game is still the same.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's the best one. That's just me. I mean, I can't play GTA 3 because I went Vice City then 3.
Oh, really?
And like the difference between Vice City and 3, it's like it felt like it was a chore to finish 3.
I mean, I've heard so many mixed reviews about 3. I don't know.
3, I think if you played it when it first came out, you have a good opinion of it.
Oh,
if you went back and played 3, no.
Is it just like the graphics and the gameplay?
The gameplay was revolutionary at the time because before that, GTA 1, 2, and London were all top view. Like top view, like your bird's eye view. Yeah. So like you had to play it that way. GTA 3 was the first one to have like, stereotypical, like, what you come to know as Grand Theft Auto gameplay. So, like, if you were playing GTA 1, 2 in London or whatever, anything before 3, and you went to 3, you're probably like, oh my god, this is amazing. But if you started with anything after 3 and you went back to play 3, you're gonna be bored. Like, it's kind of... It is, like, the targeting system's crap. It's not really super fluid. The character's not like Claude. The character that we find out his name later isn't super like likable or interesting. Like, that's one of the things that I liked about Vice City is, like, Tommy Vercetti is a very interesting character. Granted, like, the game itself is just pretty much Scarface. It's just a retelling of Scarface, which all the GTAs are just retellings of one or a couple like gangster movies. Like San Andreas is Boys in the Hood, mixed with like a couple other movies in there too. But like Tom Vercetti's like an interesting character. Like, you care, you want to play as him. Same thing with San Andreas. Though there's some missions in San Andreas that, like, the flying missions where you have to learn how to fly, I could do without those.
I never understood that because I'm like, you don't really do anything with this.
No, you don't. You really don't. Like, the same thing happens in Grand Theft Auto 5. Like, there's missions where you have to fly, and it's tedious.
See, like, at least 5, you can, like, buy an airplane or something.
Yeah, you can. Like, well, the one character, Trevor, who is, like, the antithesis of every player who actually plays Grand Theft Auto, because he is like that person who just takes the biggest weapon they can find and just goes around and kills people. Like, that's his character. Like, I feel like when they created him, that's what they had in mind. Like, he was a pilot. He was a Canadian Naval Air Force pilot. Yeah. But, like, you have to do things precisely. Like, the one flying mission, the first flying mission, I had to do 10 or a dozen times because you have to come in at an exact angle. Yeah.
See, I enjoyed that perfectionist shit because I'm crazy.
No, I don't know. I don't want to do that. Like, I don't. Like, that's not fun to me.
Okay, no. Here's the biggest question about Borderlands. Then, if I play it on casual, like,
there is no casual.
Really?
That's weird.
Because you were saying, like, you play games where playing them on casual would defeat the purpose of playing it. Is Borderlands that kind of game?
No, because the way that it is a mission by mission basis on how hard it is. Whenever you take the mission, it will tell you what level the mission is and how it relates to you. So there's trivial, normal, and tough. Pretty much, if you see anything above normal, tough, like, that means you need to go find some side quests or start killing some shit to get your XP up. So, like, that's how you would go about it. I say you should try it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's fair, but it's like, then there's also the whole, like, even, like, the biggest reason I never even try to move up on difficulty settings is that I have really poor eye-hand coordination, and I'm not so great with my fine motor skills a lot of the time. So it's like, this is just where I am comfortable.
No, I mean, with Borderlands, it's once you get used to the FPC part of it, there's not much, like, there's some buttons that don't do anything in certain situations. Like, pretty much all you need to know is right trigger is shoot. You're going to be doing that a lot. Left trigger is aim. Depending on the weapon, that's either useful or useless. D-pad is to switch your weapons. And then you use the joysticks. And then right trigger throws grenade. Left trigger does your action move. No, the left button. The one right above the triggers.
The bumper?
The bumpers, yeah. Left bumper does your action move. That's about it. And jump is X. And then the action button is not X, it's A. But the action button is X, and it will tell you whenever you should use X. It's pretty basic. The only thing I think you would have trouble with is whenever you have to do the runners, the driving cars. But they should not. It should be an actual tutorial as opposed to, like, this is how you do it, because like the way that you do it is the joystick you use to go for the left joystick. And you push down the left joystick to do your right joystick to do your melee weapon, melee attack. The left joystick is front and reverse. So you push forward, you go forward, you pull it back, you go backwards, and then the right trigger is right and left. So, like, that takes some getting used to, but once you, like, figure that out, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of driving in video games.
You will be. You will be in Borderlands, because there's like, at least in Borderlands, because in Borderlands 2, they nerfed some shit. They nerfed the shotguns, like, hella nerfed the shotguns. Because it used to be, like, carry a shotgun with you at all times. And I don't have a shotgun on me in Borderlands 2. Because they eat up a shit ton of ammunition, and they're super inaccurate. Yeah. I don't think there is a shotgun that takes less than 2 bullets. And usually you can only do, I think, 5 bullets? 6 or 5 bullets is, like, the most in a clip.
That seems annoying.
Oh, it is annoying. That's the reason why I gave up on trying to carry a fucking shotgun in Borderlands 2. But, yeah, they nerfed that, and they also nerfed the runners. The runners used to be one-hit kills for the most part, if you ran something over. Not the case in Borderlands 2. Which is probably for the better, because there was a lot of times at a certain point where I would just be like, front, back, back, front. Like, especially spider ants. Spider ants can go suck a dick. These things are fucking horrendous. And they're just as bad. They're not as prevalent as they are in Borderlands 1. At least not yet, but they've also introduced other fun animals. Like, I can't remember, there are these insect things that if you do damage to them, they'll morph into larger, more bullshitty things.
Oh, that's fun.
There's bullymogs, which are 6-armed apes, essentially.
What?
Yeah. There's a really great mission I showed Jules, where you, the one character, Sir Hammersmith, he wants to rename them. And every idea, like, while you're out on the mission, every new idea he wanted to come up with, his publisher says no. So at one point he's like, you know what? Boner farts. They're called boner farts now. And, like, if you scroll over something, it tells you what it is. And while that time happens, it says boner farts. It says, like, adult boner fart. Yeah. It's actually, like, the actor who does Sir Hammersmith has amazing delivery. Just, like, absolutely amazing. Like, the one level I was on with him, because it's pretty much you're exploring the fauna of Pandora with him, because he's a biologist. And the one level is like, most people see these things, Vatskids or something like that, see them as just cannon fodder, but they're just rather magnificent beasts. And right as he says that, the mutated one comes out of the pod that's ginormous. He's like, oh my god, kill it! Oh no. He's a fantastic character. I very much enjoy him. He's a great character to have in your ear. Because, like, they'll have characters that are in your ear while you're doing missions, and he's one of my favorites to have in your ear.
Well, you know, one thing I noticed about, like, from, you know, the first time I played Mass Effect, and then, you know, I finished that, and then in the meantime, I learned how to drive, and then I started replaying Mass Effect, and discovering that it's easier to drive an actual car than it is to operate the Mako actually made me appreciate the Mako more.
Driving in general, unless you're playing a straight-up driving game with an actual, like, wheel controller, driving in real life is easier.
Yeah, I was just so happy to discover that when I'm, like, trying to, like, use the Mako again. It's like, wow, driving a real car is easier than this. Like, it weirdly made me enjoy using the Mako more. Although then I also discovered the Mako has a cannon, which I didn't know in my first playthrough, so that changed everything.
I know.
Oh, you. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing. I've been playing a lot of Borderlands. And like I said, I'll probably be playing after we're done podcasting. Because I'm still waiting for Joe to send me his file. So if you're listening to, well, it's not his fault. He had some bullshit, like, I won't get too much into it, but pretty much his roommate just left on this past Saturday.
Oh.
Like, he was pulling his mattress out. Joe goes, so what's up, buddy? And he's like, oh, I'm moving out. And that's where they're at right now. I'm like, I'm not going to go into any more than that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but that's where they're at with that. So, like, that's the reason why he hasn't got it. So if you're listening to this on Friday and there still is an insert movie reference, that's the reason why. We have one. It's recorded. It will be out. Don't worry. It's about the Matrix. It's pretty fantastic. But it's one of those bonding episodes. So it's a lot of fun. So it's worth waiting for. But it will be up eventually. But that's what's up with that. Because I probably won't I won't cut this till tomorrow. Since I don't work Thursdays and Fridays anymore, I'm just like, I don't have to do it on Wednesday or Thursday night. Fuck it. I'll just do it. It comes out on Friday. It'll be fine. It's fine. So, what else are you into, Zarah? Like, pop culture-wise?
That could be dark. I just want to let you know.
We won't go dark. Like, whenever you come on a couple more episodes, everyone gets to know you, we can go dark then. Like, you haven't been for a Q&A episode yet. Those are the ones that usually get dark and
I'm ready.
don't take it this way, but it's the best way to describe it. They usually get dark and sexual.
Fuck me up. I'm ready.
Not like that. It's usually a lot about masturbation. At least the Q&A episodes end up being about masturbation in some way.
I mean, I don't, we'll wait.
Yeah, no. I'm giving you a heads up.
I mean, we could talk about it, but
No,
there's not much there.
I was gonna say masturbation's more fun when there's more of us here, like that on more than one level.
How that sounds, I just want to let you know.
But no, I mean pop culture wise, because we explored gaming. You like the Hitman games that are just becoming ridiculous.
I mean, I just like. As a general, last sentence, I feel like gaming, I'm just really into free roam. I like shooting things. I like zombie games for reasons of my username on the internet.
You might want to tell people what that is.
Oh, yeah, it's Zombie Kissed everywhere. The only one that's different is Twitter. Dash. But yeah, no, there's zombies, shooting things, free roam. Poof.
Thank you for that. See, I don't do zombies anymore.
I love zombies.
I went to film school in Pittsburgh. I'm over zombies.
Oh yeah, you think I would be, but I'm not.
I can't. I don't find them terribly threatening. That's the thing.
As soon as zombie movie comes out, I'm just like, fuck me up. Let's go.
There is one thing that I heard. Because I was listening to a lot of back episodes of Nerdist that I was just... It was one of those things that, when it came out, I'm like, I don't recognize that name. So I didn't listen to it, but, I went back and listened. I'm like, James Gunn, I know who that is now, so I'm going to listen to it. Like, that kind of stuff. Same with Allison Hayslip.
Oh, yeah.
Which, oh my god, that episode it's an older episode. It's, I think 2011 it came out. So before you and I, Jules, were dating.
Oh.
But Hardwick... But Hardwick had such a fucking crush on her. It was painful. You could hear
They're so cute.
It seemed like it was she also had a crush on him, but they never really did anything about it. But it was real. But it was very obvious that Hardwick was flirting with her in his awkward, nerdy way. Yeah.
I mean, it's cute.
I mean, if you've seen a picture of Allison Hayslip, it's completely understandable. She's really, really gorgeous and super fucking nerdy. She got her job because she was a bartender, and the guy, one of the guys from G4 came in because he was celebrating his wife getting pregnant, and she had a Nintendo controller charm necklace, and that's how she got her job at
Holy shit.
at G4. He's because he was talking to her, and they talked about video games, and what sparked it was that necklace, and they started talking about video games. He's like, I have a job for you.
How do I get that kind of
Can
luck?
someone discover me that way?
Seriously, how do I become a nerd for a living?
Well,
I mean, the
helps
internet.
I was gonna say it helps that G4 doesn't exist anymore. Which that was also kind of bullshit if you knew what happened with it, because they were going to replace it with the Esquire network, and then at last minute they were like, oh, you know what makes more sense if we take the Style network and turn that into the Esquire network, and just then I guess G4 was it was a zombie network, not zombie with zombies on it, it was an undead network that was just showing a handful of things over, I can't remember what show Hardwick said it was. I think it was Web Soup, because it was the only
I haven't seen their channel in a while.
Yeah, well, it's gone now. But like for like a year and a half, it was just showing like Web Soup because it was the only thing that G4 owned. Yeah. So like it was just like an unditch and like had no interest in like doing anything with it. So, but yeah.
They tried to keep hope alive.
No, they just didn't want anything to do with it. They just didn't know how they were going to get, like, they just needed to roll it down. Because they couldn't get anyone back. They fired everyone. They got rid of everyone.
Oh.
So, like, they couldn't get, like, Morgan Webb and Adam Sessler and Alison Hayslip and, like, all these people that, like, Kevin Pereira, all these people that, like, made the channel had moved on to bigger and better things because apparently they were real fucking shitty about it. Because, like, they were all obviously real pissed off about it because, like, G4 kind of became, like, a home for a lot of, like, the nerdy folks in pop culture. Yeah. And, like, apparently they started they would make, like, snide comics and jokes about it, like, on Attack of the Show and stuff like that. And I think it was Matt Meyer was saying that, like, a memo came down from the top that if they kept making jokes, they weren't going to give them their severance.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, now they're gone.
Yeah, so. But yeah, what was I... Where did I go from there? Because I was talking about Nerdist.
Pop cult.
Oh, yeah, pop culture. So, like, what else? Are there any podcasts you listen to?
Oh, yeah. I do listen to Nerdist. I listen to Shane and Friends.
Not familiar.
If you know Internet People,
no.
Shane Dawson, his podcast.
Nope, not familiar.
This again, another internet person.
Ah, okay.
Matt G. Night Vale, on and off.
You and I already had our discussion about Night Vale, my feelings on Night Vale.
I have mixed feelings about it.
Long and short, fuck Night Vale.
Long and short.
I really, really need to catch up on Night Vale. Because, like, I am of the opinion that, like, yes, it absolutely is completely overrated, but it's awesome.
Oh, yeah, I think people kind of go a little too crazy with it, but, I mean, I've listened to more annoying things.
Yeah, I've recently been seeing, like, a resurgence of the Night Vale fandom on Tumblr, so...
Yeah.
Because that kind of died for a while, and now it's, like, really coming back.
I think because it's, like,
so
how they release their episodes. It's, like, twice a month on YouTube, and then that's...
It's twice a month in general.
Oh, okay.
It's the 1st and the 15th of every month.
Yeah, I feel like it's how they do it, like...
But I
don't know.
I think, like, stories started getting stronger again. So...
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of times that it just meanders and nothing really happens from it. I mean, it's... I don't know.
Well, the last episode that I listened to, I don't remember what the episode actually was, but it was the episode that followed the Old Oak Door episodes. And those episodes were fucking amazing.
Things have gone up and down.
Oh my god, those were so good. And then the episode that came after those, like, fucking phenomenal episodes, with, like, it was just really boring and nothing happened. So it was, like, in contrast, I was just like, oh shit. And, like, I still really, really want to catch up, but I think that's why I haven't. That I had, like, that rush of, like, this is amazing, and then what the fuck is this?
I think Night Vale is, like, they're trying to be, like, a book that never ends. And I think that's what's... It goes up and down.
I also get the... Oh, sorry.
That was the end of my sentence.
Okay. I also get the impression that they write week to week as opposed to having a story arc, which runs you run into problems. You run into problems whenever you start doing week to week as opposed to having a solid arc.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, it's just like I have it. I'm still subscribed technically to it.
Yeah.
But, like, at no point was I'm like, I should catch up on Night Vale. Like, it's just a no.
I have that thought all the time. Like, I have that thought at least once a day, and I still have not done it. So, or put any effort into doing it.
I feel like I'd just be angry. I'm just like, this is fucking stupid.
It's good if you just do it like background noise, because that's how I listen to podcasts most of the time.
I can't listen to podcasts that way.
Yeah,
I do.
Like, I can't write with podcasts on or anything like that. It has to be music.
I mean, yeah, that's actually... Like, that's actually part of the reason I haven't caught up on Night Vale, and a reason that I can be really bad at listening to podcasts as a general rule is if I cannot give my full attention to it, I'm not going to listen to it.
Oh, yeah,
because it's going to bother me to miss things.
I like podcast in color. Like, I won't do, like, anything intensive.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart. I like that.
Like, I won't do anything that, like, makes my attention, like, split in half, but...
That makes like, a lot of sense. I like that plan.
Or just, like, drawing. Which is usually not bad either.
Drawing takes up, like, all of my focus. I cannot do anything. Like, I can listen to music and draw, and that's about it.
Yeah, I can just... Yeah.
Yeah, like
Music.
podcasts to me are like, I'm gonna do graphics, and then I'm gonna draw, and then I'm gonna color. Wee.
No, for me, it's like podcasts are work. That's how I get through work.
Yeah.
Which sucks working 10-hour shifts because by the end of my week, I'm running out of... Because, like, I'll get through most of my backlog podcasts from not working certain days by, like, the first day.
Oh my
like,
God.
I'm pretty much over. Like, I was off a week, so I had almost 2 weeks worth of backlog podcasts. I got through them in a day and a half. Fuck that. But, I mean, I usually listen to them on at work.
Oh yeah.
And then for me, it's like I need music to write because I need to be cut off. Like I need to be cut off from people, and I usually need to be out in public because I need that like. I don't need that distraction. Like right now, if I were to try to write at home, I'm just like, well, I could kill some shit on Borderlands. like that. Like I have those distractions, so I need to be out and about. Like I know, like the whole joke is like, oh, that screenwriter has to be out in public so people can see him working on his big feature. I'm like, no, I just need to be separated and like be left alone. So,
oh
like,
yeah. Sometimes that happens because like I work at home anyway, most of the time. So like, there's been times when I look at my phone and I'm like, I don't want to look at you at all because I've been looking at my laptop for so long. It can be a pain in the dick.
That's fair.
Yeah, like, yeah, I can't listen. I tried listening to podcasts at work. Like, I tried doing that for a little bit, but like, I'm a receptionist, so that really doesn't work. But like, I'll listen to music at work, and like, I get like all of my writing done at work, so that's like always fun. It's like, yeah, basically like getting paid to write fan fiction right now.
Feel like I did this. Yay.
Yeah, cool. What about movies? You were saying Scorsese, but like, is there any movies like as a whole?
The genres I specifically like, zombies. Yeah, zombies, thriller. I like psychological thriller a lot.
Oh wait, I think that's where I got. Because I was saying James Gunn with the zombies. That's where it came from. Oh, that was the idea that... Okay, no, wait. Sorry, I gotta backtrack to that. No, because if I listen back to this episode, I'm like, you fucker, you let off that trail. The idea that I heard was James Gunn talking about the zombie that grows up and becomes like control the hive mind of zombies. That interests me in zombies, but otherwise it doesn't. There, I finished it. Continue, sorry.
But no, yeah, I like psychological thriller. I like foreign movies a lot. I like foreign horror and like foreign thrillers.
I thought you said Ford movies. I was like, okay.
Forward. But no, foreign. I like documentaries a lot too. Like all the weird ones about like serial killers or like Kurt Cobain. Like,
have you watched Soaked in Bleach and soundtrack montage of Heck?
I was very excited.
Soaked in Bleach is interesting. It bothers me. I think I've talked about this with Justin on the podcast. I don't remember because that's how you know you podcast a lot, when you don't remember what you've said on a podcast and what you haven't. Yeah. But we've talked about, and the thing that bothers me about like Soaked in Bleach is that like they'll do the reproductions, but then they'll like kind of like slip in and out of them like really. So I'm like that too much either. What are you changing?
I was like, so is this a reenactment or like,
there's a
are you
lot
telling
of,
the story? Like,
there's a lot of things that are suspicious about his death. I think at the very least, he was euthanized. So like, I don't know if he killed himself, but at the absolute very least, if he did kill himself, he did not do it himself. He asked someone else to kill him for himself. Because that would align up with the massive amount of morphine that was found in his blood.
Yeah.
And it would also align up with the fact that, like, he can't pull the trigger with his... He was too short to pull the trigger with his thumb, so he'd have to do it with his toe, and he was wearing shoes. And also, like, the side that the shotgun shell was on his body also doesn't line up with suicide. Oh yeah,
I saw that picture. I was like, wait.
Yeah, like there's some weird shit that's like, if he did commit suicide, because like I'm going with the fact that like both Chris Novoselic and Dave Grohl, two people who knew him very well, believe that he killed himself. Like they truly do believe like that he did, but like he didn't do it himself if he killed himself.
Oh yeah, I think of course in the general sense he did commit suicide, but I'm not exactly sure if like he asked, like, I don't know, like, someone who was okay with, like, assisted suicide or something like that.
I mean, like I said, it would make sense, like, if it was an assisted suicide, it makes sense why he had so much fucking morphine in his blood.
Yeah. I think another one that kind of goes with that line, the Benet Ramsey child. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm 30 years old. I know what the
Because you was just silent. I'm like...
Yeah.
We remember Jean-Benet Ramsey.
Yeah.
I was just silent. I'm like, wait.
We're
is that a no?
old. We were... Oh, wait, because you're young, aren't you?
Yeah.
Were you even, like, alive when that was a thing?
I might not have been old enough to, like,
She was like 1 or 2 because it was like
Yeah.
1996. So you were... Because you're...
Well, no. 96, I was probably like... Wait.
You're 22 now, right?
I was 3.
So yeah, I was off a little. But yeah.
Close.
But yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. They think that the brother did it on accident and the parents tried to cover it up.
I think he could have, because apparently he was, like, a pretty temper tantrum violent kind of child.
Yeah, and people said that, like, him talking now, it might be like he's on the spectrum, like he was a part of, like, the violent part of the spectrum.
Oh, really?
And he just overreacted. Because, well, like, even today, like, he's, like, 31, and, like, he still doesn't seem to, like, get that his little sister was killed, like, sort of thing. Like, he doesn't seem to, like, react the way that you expect someone to react. It kind of, like, he's apparently, like, real smiley about it, and he's just like, yeah, she
But
died.
then again, it's like... I feel like... I don't think it was the parents, because, like... Not that saying, like, any parent couldn't be a killer, but, like, I just don't think they would be like, let's kill my famous child. Like...
Mm-hmm.
It just seems so out of the loop. Like...
It makes more sense to me. The limited amount that, like, I can speak on the Kurt Cobain because I did a lot of research on that for my senior project. So, like,
Yeah.
I know a shit ton about Kurt Cobain. But, like, the John Benet, from what I've heard, it makes sense that the brother killed her on accident because he was jealous and, you know, couldn't control his anger, and the parents then covered it up.
I think if it's not the brother, it was like a family member
And they
of
tried
any
to cover
kind.
it up.
Yeah.
And they tried to cover it up because, I mean, the fact that she was in the basement is kind of suspicious. So
It's like a little weird. It's like, why was your kid just randomly in the basement? Like,
Yeah.
what? Like,
hey, Jules, you want to know anything about Zarah? Because we're coming to the end of the podcast, so, like, you know, this is your first time you get to meet her.
Yeah.
hey,
Hey. Do you have a Tumblr?
I do.
We should be mutuals.
I'm here for it.
Cool.
You got anything else you want to add? Because we've been going for almost like an hour and a half, so
I
we're.
mean, you know, you gotta give me questions. I just kind of.
It's fine. I mean, is there you want to give a quick pitch for Toxic Volume for people? Because we talked about at the beginning of the podcast. You want to try to seduce them, lure them into listening every Tuesday.
Well, if you like bubbly, laughing women, along with pop culture and random ramblings about creepy OkCupid, and
I feel like that one will get a lot because I feel like there's a lot of people who like. Well, at least I'm not that bad. Like, kind of thing.
If you like pop culture in general, if you like two people that almost kind of sound the same.
If you don't like knowing who's who.
If you want a mystery, come on down. But no, yeah, I mean, I don't want to say we're all over the place because we're not really. It's just we have so many things that we like to talk about that it's definitely we're gonna break it down for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's segmented like Scenario Store News, so if you listen to that.
I mean, if you want a sneak peek of everything, we did make a Halloween episode because it was time sensitive. So,
Yeah, because we were going to launch on the 1st, but then I realized that I lost track of time and realized we didn't talk about the fact that we have another podcast on the network, like, other than me saying, like, vague things. So I was like, Zarah, you should come over and record, because we didn't record on Monday because it was Halloween. So you should probably come over and have everyone introduce,
Hi,
yeah.
how are you?
Introduce yourselves to our listeners and know that you're our new podcast. So, yeah, that's Toxic Volume. It will be, Jules, you'll have to set up the website.
Yep.
But it'll be on the website. It will be on our SoundCloud. It will be all over the place. So you put it
Anywhere
under
you can find it.
You put it under Sinister Dreamcast Network, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you just search Sinister Dreamcast Network, you'll see Toxic Volume there as well, and it will come out every Tuesday. So we got you covered again Monday through Friday and every Saturday every once in a while.
We're trying to stick with the third Saturday thing. It's been a rough few months.
Yeah, I also was given Mr. Dan Foytak was kind enough to explain some shit to me.
Ooh.
So he kind of explained to me how I could do another podcast without having to pay you another fee.
Ooh.
So there's a plug-in for that. I just have to sit down and do that. So
Nice.
that looks like that will be the way that I'll be doing Passion Leads to the Nerd Side.
Nice.
I just gotta get the mass of people who are down to do things. And I gotta schedule them up. So I'll tell you about that after we're done recording because I've talked about it on the podcast enough.
Fuck me up.
It's something that I think you'll be down to do. So yeah, there you go. Next week might be a guest because like Zarah's kind of a guest. Might be a guest, might not. We'll see what I can rustle up. Might be a general discussion. So I mean, the one thing you do have to look forward to this month is the pop analysis, which is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze, which should be fucking interesting. On that note, I am Nick Kizina. Follow me on Instagram at Sinister Dreamist with no E in Sinister.
I'm Julianna Hawk becauseanders.tumblr.com.
I am Zarah. You can follow me on Instagram, ZombieKissed, all together.
May the Force be with you. See you next week.
Thank you, and may the Force be with you.
You have been listening to the Sinister Dreamcast Network. For more from Sinister Dream Productions, check out www.sinisterdream.com.